The unveiling of Tesla's Robotaxi event generated a lot of excitement, but it also left many attendees and observers puzzled. I was fortunate enough to attend the event, explore the new self-driving technology firsthand, and speak with some of the Tesla engineers behind it. Despite the buzz, I left with more questions than answers, and I wasn't alone in feeling confused. In this piece, I'll break down the event and highlight 3 key aspects that left many of us scratching our heads. The Robotaxi, a futuristic but confusing vision. The event's primary focus was the unveiling of Tesla's new Robotaxi, a fully self-driving vehicle designed to transport passengers without any human intervention. From the outside, the Robotaxi closely resembles a mini Cybertruck, complete with light bars on the front and back, a lack of rear visibility, and a small 2-passenger cabin. It's compact, minimalist, and sleek in design, painted in a silvery gold hue. Tesla calls light gold, though no mention was made of the actual material used for the car's body. One standout feature was the absence of traditional controls like steering wheels and pedals, which allowed for a more spacious seating arrangement pushed further back into the middle of the vehicle. This creates a lounge-like, more relaxed seating position that seems ideal for long rides. The interior is dominated by a massive 21-inch touchscreen in the center, serving as the hub for controlling every aspect of the car, from navigation to entertainment, and even opening the doors. A surprising element was the inclusion of Tesla's notorious scissor doors, reminiscent of the Model X. While they certainly add to the car's futuristic appearance, one has to wonder whether Tesla has learned from the challenges of maintaining such complex door mechanisms in the past. The wheels were another curiosity. At first glance, they appeared to be massive golden discs. However, upon closer inspection, they turned out to be regular 21-inch Continental low-resistance tires, painted gold on the sidewalls to create the illusion of a much larger, more futuristic design. While clever, these small design touches felt more like gimmicks than practical innovations. This led to the first major point of confusion. What is the purpose of these design choices, and how much of this will actually make it into production? A driverless experience, but is it ready? My experience riding in the Robotaxi was a mix of amazement and discomfort. Once inside, the screen prompted me to buckle up, and as soon as I did, the doors closed automatically, signaling the start of the ride. The car followed a predetermined route, and for those few minutes, I was a passenger in a completely autonomous vehicle. Though I've experienced Tesla's self-driving technology before, this felt different. It was unnerving to be in a car with no steering wheel or manual controls. Depending entirely on AI for safety and comfort felt, frankly, eerie. There were no steering wheels or pedals to grab in case of an emergency, and the only physical controls I could find were the window switches next to the cup holders. Even opening the doors required pressing a button on the giant touchscreen. The Robotaxi moved smoothly, and I can see how this setup might appeal to someone seeking comfort during a commute. However, the unsettling feeling of having no manual override stayed with me throughout the ride. When I asked Tesla engineers what would happen in an emergency, their response was less than reassuring. They mentioned that minimal on-screen controls would be available for such situations, but emphasized that the goal was for users to never need to override the system. While this is a noble objective, it feels unrealistic in a world where accidents and unpredictable situations are everyday realities on the road. Tesla's focus on eliminating human intervention even extended to how the Robotaxi charges itself. They showcased inductive wireless charging pads, which allow the vehicle to charge autonomously by driving over the pad. No human needed to plug it in. While this sounds convenient, the lack of precision in wireless charging technology raises questions. Will the car be able to align itself perfectly over the pad every time? What happens if it's slightly off? These are small but important details that Tesla didn't address. More concerning was the confirmation that there is no charge port on the Robotaxi, meaning there's no way to connect it to a Tesla supercharger or other fast charging infrastructure. Essentially, this vehicle is designed solely to operate as a taxi within a limited range, eliminating the possibility of road trips or longer distance travel. This limitation presents a significant drawback for many potential users, especially in areas where wireless charging infrastructure is not yet widespread. Perhaps the most perplexing part of the event was the lack of specific details about the Robotaxi's performance and capabilities. Elon Musk is known for making bold promises during Tesla unveilings, and this event was no exception. 3 key claims were made about the Robotaxi. It would be fully unsupervised in its self-driving capabilities, it would cost under $30,000, and it would rely solely on wireless charging. These impressive-sounding goals, however, were not backed by much information on how Tesla planned to achieve them. For one, the self-driving technology required to make this car truly autonomous without any human supervision is still far from receiving widespread regulatory approval. Even Tesla's current self-driving system is far from perfect, and introducing a car without manual controls seems like a regulatory and safety challenge waiting to happen. Tesla's claim that they will roll out a fully autonomous vehicle by 2027 feels overly ambitious at best, and downright impossible at worst. It's hard to imagine this technology being ready for mass adoption within the next few years. The price point was another head-scratcher. Musk stated that the Robotaxi would be available for under $30,000, a figure that seems highly optimistic given the advanced technology involved. Between the scissor doors, wireless charging, self-driving tech, and an expected high-efficiency battery pack, it's difficult to see how Tesla could keep costs that low while still turning a profit. Lastly, the wireless charging approach, while intriguing, poses several technical challenges. Wireless charging is generally less efficient than traditional plug-in charging, meaning the Robotaxi would need to compensate for those energy losses somehow. Tesla claimed they were aiming for an efficiency of 5.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which would make the Robotaxi one of the most efficient electric vehicles ever produced. However, without specifics on battery size or range, it's difficult to gauge whether this target is achievable. If the car does manage to meet this goal, it might be equipped with a much smaller battery pack than typical EVs today, possibly around 40 kilowatt hours, compared to the 70 to 130 kilowatt hour found in other electric vehicles. While a smaller battery would reduce weight and cost, it might also limit the car's practical range to about 200 miles, restricting its usability. The Tesla Robotaxi is confusing. Tesla recently unveiled its much-anticipated Robotaxi, but the event raised more questions than it answered. It was one of the most unusual tech unveilings in recent memory, blending futuristic concepts with a lot of ambiguity. I attended the event and experienced firsthand what Tesla claims will be the future of autonomous transportation, a driverless car with no steering wheel or pedals. I also explored the equally mysterious Robovan and interacted with Tesla's humanoid robot, Optimus. However, after leaving the event, I found myself more confused than impressed. Here's a breakdown of why the Tesla Robotaxi unveiling was so perplexing, focusing on 3 primary aspects: the Robotaxi itself, the concept of Tesla's self-driving technology, and the vision for a fully autonomous world. The Tesla Robotaxi, a minimalistic marvel. The main attraction of the event was, of course, the Robotaxi. Tesla has been teasing a self-driving car for years, and this unveiling was supposed to showcase a fully autonomous, functional vehicle that would hit the streets soon. What we saw was something that looked like a mini Cybertruck, sleek, futuristic, and oddly designed. Visually, the car is unique. It has no exterior mirrors or door handles, and the doors open upwards, much like Tesla's Model X. The golden hue, which covers the entire exterior, gives the Robotaxi a striking, almost metallic look. Despite its small footprint, the interior is spacious due to the lack of traditional car components like pedals or a steering wheel. Passengers sit in a more laid-back position with a large 21-inch touchscreen in the middle of the car, controlling everything from opening the windows to watching movies during the ride. It sounds impressive, but the car is also impractical in several ways. For instance, there are no manual controls. If the car encounters an obstacle or a potential accident, there's no steering wheel to grab or pedals to press. Tesla engineers assured me there would be minimal on-screen controls, but their ultimate goal is to create a system where no human intervention is ever required. While that's a noble ambition, The reality of achieving this level of autonomy in the near future seems highly unlikely. Additionally, there's no charging port. This means the car can only charge wirelessly, further limiting its practicality. Wireless charging is notoriously inefficient, and aligning the car perfectly with the charging pad can be tricky. Without a manual override or even a standard charging port, long trips and road travel seem out of the question. Perhaps the most striking feature of the Robotaxi, aside from its futuristic design, was the lack of concrete details. The event provided almost no hard data, no range estimates, battery sizes, or performance metrics. All we know is that the vehicle is designed to be as efficient as possible, with a goal of 5.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which is impressive if achieved. However, without any supporting figures, the Robotaxi felt more like a concept car than something that will hit the market anytime soon. The core of Tesla's Robotaxi is its self-driving technology, which the company has been promising for years. Tesla has repeatedly claimed that full, unsupervised self-driving is just around the corner, yet we're still waiting for it to materialize. While Tesla has rolled out several iterations of its full self-driving FSD software, these still require human supervision. Even with the FSD package, drivers are instructed to keep their hands on the wheel and be prepared to take over at any moment. This makes Tesla's claim that the Robotaxi will be fully autonomous seem hard to believe, especially given the ambitious timeline. Tesla has a history of missing deadlines. For instance, the company promised a $35,000 Model 3, but only briefly delivered on that before discontinuing it. The Cybertruck was initially touted to have a base price of $39,000, but now the cheapest version is closer to $95,000. Tesla has made grand promises before, only to quietly adjust the goalposts later. Now, the company claims the Robotaxi will be available for under $30,000 and ready for deployment by 2027. This seems unlikely. Tesla would need to drastically lower the cost of its technology and secure regulatory approval for a vehicle with no steering wheel or pedals. Given how long it's taken just to get partial self-driving features approved, it's hard to see fully unsupervised driving being cleared by regulators within a few years. Even if the Robotaxi does launch, the concept of owning one as a personal vehicle feels odd. Tesla has floated the idea that your self-driving car could take you to work, then act as a ride-sharing vehicle while you're busy, only to return and pick you up at the end of the day. It's a neat concept, but will it ever really happen? Most people would likely prefer a car with a steering wheel and manual controls, just in case. This might seem like an old-fashioned notion in a world where autonomous cars are the norm, but for now, it's hard to imagine completely letting go of that control. The Robovan, a futuristic dream or vaporware. In addition to the Robotaxi, Tesla also unveiled the Robovan, a large futuristic vehicle that can allegedly carry up to 20 passengers and is designed for fully autonomous group transportation. Like the Robotaxi, the Robovan has no steering wheel or pedals and is fully electric. However, there were even fewer details about the Robovan than there were about the Robotaxi. It felt more like a concept vehicle with no clear path to production. If you've ever attended CES, the massive tech trade show, you've likely seen a dozen similar concepts: autonomous vans with no drivers, seats facing inward, and minimalist designs. These concepts rarely, if ever, make it to market. Tesla's Robovan feels like just another one of these vaporware concepts. While the idea of an autonomous van sounds futuristic, there are so many obstacles that it's hard to take the concept seriously. Fully autonomous group transportation would require significant infrastructure changes, not to mention regulatory approval. More importantly, the event lacked technical details. We don't know the range of the van, the size of its battery, or how Tesla plans to make it commercially viable. Without concrete information, it's difficult to believe the Robovan will ever see the light of day. The final part of Tesla's event introduced the Optimus robot, a humanoid machine that Tesla has been developing for some time. These robots were scattered throughout the event, walking around, serving drinks, and interacting with attendees. On the surface, it seemed like a significant leap forward for robotics. However, it quickly became apparent that much of the robots' behavior pre-rehearsed. While the robots were moving and interacting with people, they were clearly being controlled or assisted by human operators. At one point, I even played charades with one of the robots, and its movements were far too smooth and deliberate to be fully autonomous. Tesla has long marketed itself as more than just a car company, positioning itself as a leader in AI and robotics. Yet, despite the impressive physical movements of the Optimus robot, it's clear that we are not at the stage where humanoid robots can independently interact with humans. It's likely that much of the interaction was scripted or controlled behind the scenes. This raises questions about the true progress of Tesla's AI. If the robots at the event were still being controlled, how much of what we saw was real versus just an impressive display? It felt as though Tesla was using smoke and mirrors to mask the fact that its AI and robotics have a long way to go. Tesla's event certainly left us with a lot to consider, especially with their ambitious vision for the future. From self-driving robotaxis to humanoid robots like Optimus, it's clear they're pushing the boundaries of technology. But as remarkable as these concepts are, a lot of uncertainty about when and how all of this will come together. The idea of having a robot living with you, helping with chores, and becoming a companion is wild. But we need to be realistic. AI is improving rapidly, yet we're still far from achieving that level of autonomy. The demos were impressive, but aspects like the human-assisted robots raised more questions than answers. Tesla did succeed in showing us a glimpse of what the future could look like, even if it still's distant. The event was packed with high-tech demos that could have easily gone wrong, but didn't, which speaks volumes about their ambition. They painted a picture of a world that is more efficient, safer, and technologically advanced than what we know today. However, the grand promises, without clear timelines or prices, make it difficult to predict how much of this vision will come to life soon. The reality is that while Tesla has the potential to deliver on these ideas, it's uncertain when or if they will materialize as planned. That said, if any company could eventually bring this futuristic vision to reality, it's probably Tesla. With their data advantage and the technology they're developing, they are certainly ahead of the curve. So we'll have to wait and see how this all unfolds. If you're as curious about this future as I am, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. This version refines the original